Look at the extreme southern edge of the Texas Gulf Coast. Above the Mexican border sits a remote, wind-swept marshland known as Boca Chica. For decades, it was little more than a tiny, quiet village. But in May of 2025, an overwhelming local vote, exactly 212 to 6, officially incorporated this 500-person settlement into a recognized city. The town operates on its own peculiar wavelength. Residents navigate an intersection literally renamed Meme Street, and they clock out to grab drinks at the local Astropub, sitting under a neon sign urging them to occupy Mars. On the surface, it feels like an isolated, eccentric beach commune, but this specific mile-and-a-half stretch of sand happens to disguise one of the most heavily capitalized industrial zones on the planet. Just steps away from those residential homes sits a massive 1 million square foot manufacturing floor. Following a corporate merger announced in February, the entity operating here, a combined SpaceX and xAI, commands a staggering valuation of $1.25 trillion. Inside the facility, the environment is completely sterile. The muted color palette was personally selected by Elon Musk to enforce the extreme mechanical precision required of the engineers on the floor. And that precision is directed at a single, highly specific goal: physically relocating humanity's most demanding digital infrastructure off the surface of the Earth. Right now, artificial intelligence is colliding with a physical wall. Training and operating advanced data models require terrestrial server farms that are rapidly draining local electricity grids and consuming vast amounts of fresh water just to keep the hardware from melting down. That bottleneck is exactly why SpaceX COO Gwynne Shotwell views the integration of AI software and spaceflight hardware as a direct force multiplier. This diagram visualizes the solution: bypassing Earth's limits by launching 1 million AI satellites to create a decentralized orbital data center. Above the atmosphere, these servers bypass strained power grids, harvesting uninterrupted solar energy, while the vacuum's deep freeze provides zero-waste thermal cooling. Merging code development with rocket manufacturing solves a looming software bottleneck through applied orbital thermodynamics. But visualizing an array of 1 million servers in orbit is very different from the logistics of hauling them up there. To handle this unprecedented payload, Starbase factory crews are currently building 18 separate Starship rockets by hand, each stainless steel vehicle standing 40 stories tall. To underwrite an industrial fleet of this size, the company has mapped out a massive initial public offering targeted for the second quarter of 2026. Until those funds clear and those vehicles leave the launch pad, that trillion-dollar intelligence network remains grounded by Earth's gravity. Looking past those initial orbital deployments, the company has drafted a 10-year timeline to establish a permanent physical settlement on the Moon. This schematic demonstrates a key piece of planned lunar infrastructure, a mass driver. It uses an electromagnetic track to physically launch heavy payloads straight off the surface, taking full advantage of the Moon's low gravity. With launch systems like that in place, the objective is to shift the actual manufacturing of these AI satellites to off-world industrial hubs. Building the hardware directly on the Moon means the expansion of the data network would no longer drain Earth's finite raw materials. It is a sprawling, multi-planetary logistical web. Yet, as this scale graphic shows, the origin point for all of it fits tightly inside a 1.5 square mile footprint on the Texas coast. A roadmap intended to spread across the solar system is currently moving forward because 500 local residents checked a box on a municipal ballot. The engineers welding steel panels and grabbing off-shift beers at the Astropub are laying down the physical copper and code for an off-world intelligence grid. Moving our data processing into the vacuum of space requires intense manual labor, all of it concentrated inside a single, obscure microcity.